welcome to the Nasty Labs podcast, legally the best podcast. We're part of Tokyo Beat Network, and we're the podcast from Game Studio Chuhai Labs. We talk about games, game dev, Japan, and whatever else comes up. So as always, we're your hosts, Kinsey and Mark, so open yourself up a Chuhai, and let's
go! Kinsey Berg, let's amp it up real quick. I just want to get it out on the table that thank you for clearing up how to correctly pronounce the word bagel. We're not going to talk about it on the show, but look it up online, the correct pronunciation. Kinsey is down for it. She's a huge fan. Kinsey, how are you today?
I do really like bagels.
I know. So how are you today? What's going on with you?
So there's a lot going on in the world of Kinsey nerddom.
Uh-oh.
So Witcher Season 3, the first half, dropped yesterday.
Okay.
And I watched it
That's starring that Superman.
Henry Cavill. He's not Superman anymore. They recast him. Either recast or like his contract was over and they got a new Superman. But it was announced yesterday there's a new Superman.
Okay.
Cool. Anyways,
yes.
So the first half of Season 3 came out, and I binged all of it last night.
That's a good evening.
Yeah. I mean, it
You
was
ate
only
food
5
and
episodes, so...
5 straight hours of TV, just mainlining that. Was it good? Was it everything you thought? Witcher is the video game, and this is all based out on it entirely? Hit me up. What is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's kind of says it's more based on the books than the games, but as someone who has read all the books,
Okay.
They have quite strayed.
All right.
At least so far this season, they're kind of course correcting, I think, and getting a little. It's been slightly more book related.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a good thing,
Okay.
because the choices they made in the last season, personally, I was like, "What you doing?"
Okay.
There's a lot of source material for
What
this. There's
you doing?
There's like 12 books. Like there's a
Right.
lot of source material. So like you don't need to fuck it up that much.
So you're enjoying Witcher Season 3. You've already watched half of it.
Yeah.
When does the next half come out?
Next month.
Okay. All right. And what television company is this on?
Netflix.
Netflix.
I had to
okay.
I hadn't logged in my Netflix in a while.
Right.
And I use my dad's Netflix, as we all do.
Yeah.
And so my brother just recently told me also uses my dad's. Well,
Sure.
doesn't anymore. He recently got kicked off from the password sharing.
Okay.
And so I think my days are numbered, especially with my IP address nowhere near my parents.
Right.
I think my days are numbered, but it still works for me. My brother, who lives 40 minutes from my parents, kicked off.
Okay.
Me, still going
so
strong.
You still got a lifeline to your favorite television show, The Witcher Season 3. You're gonna stick around for this. Has it been a surprise? What did he witch?
I mean, I read the books, so it's not really a surprise. I'm the worst person to watch it with because Tony hasn't read the books.
Okay.
My partner, and I'm just like, oh my god, who do you think it is? Kind of like
Right.
Like
And
who do you think the bad guy is?
Is
And
the whole
he's
show a mystery? Like, I'm the witch. No,
It's
I'm
more
the witch.
like they're like, someone's behind this, but who is it?
Someone's
kind of thing.
behind this witch, man.
So they're like, I was like, who do you think it is? And
Right.
he's like, wrong. And I'm like, hee hee hee.
Oh,
I
take
know
that,
who
partner
it is.
Tony, you dipshit. Should have read these books.
I'm like the worst person to watch it with. Or something happens, and I'm like, well, in the book.
I can't believe they changed that one detail. It's my favorite detail. Like that. Yeah, okay, all right. So I think there's another thing that you've been pretty excited about. Months ago during TGS, we all got Splatoon. I think there's a big Splatoon thing, right?
Yeah, so this specific thing I didn't know was happening.
Right.
But Splatoon 3 came out
Right.
months ago.
Okay.
And we all loved it. Splatoon 3 is great. And in the latest Nintendo Direct, which we'll talk about later, they even talked about the latest Splatfest stuff. It's still relevant and cool.
Right.
But I walked into a 7-Eleven the other day.
Uh-oh.
They had an Ichiban Kuji.
Which is?
And we've talked about those many times before on this podcast, but they're basically like a lottery system.
Right.
You buy a lottery ticket, and you can get any one of these prizes.
Mm-hmm.
And they're tiered by letter. So, there's the crap prizes and the good prizes, basically.
Tell us what the bottom end prize probably is and how much it costs to buy one ticket.
The bottom end prize
Start with that. It costs for a ticket.
Keychains.
Or a shit folder. A clear plastic folder?
No clear folders. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I meant in general.
Oh, in general,
yeah.
The bottoms are usually keychain, notepad,
rag,
a washcloth,
It's a rag, dude. It's a piece of junk.
And then, clear folders are usually the bottom. This one, the bottoms are the like washcloth or hand towel, I guess is what they call them.
It's a rag.
Hand towel, keychain. But I didn't do great. I got 4 tickets. The tickets were 680 yen each.
680 yen, so about $4.50 US dollars.
Yeah, about. And I got 2 mugs, but they're plastic mugs. See, like at least the Zelda one, the mugs were like mug ass mugs.
Mug ass mug.
So like, like it's a real mug. So
Right.
that was fine. But these ones are plastic. And I got a T-shirt. So I got like a C level.
What's up, T-shirt?
And might fit me.
Whoa!
Right?
Oh, because I'm sure they do more.
It's like a men's
a size that can fit a lot more people.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Because at first when they're like, you won the T-shirt, in my head I was like,
Oh shoot! And then what else did you get?
I got like 2 mugs, a T-shirt, and a washcloth.
There you go.
But this, okay.
All right. Let's throw some shade.
A lot of the time, they like bring out the 4 washcloths they have, and they're like, you can pick one.
Oh, they just threw one at you and
Yeah.
said, clean yourself off.
Yeah, basically.
All
They're like, you
right.
get this one. It could have been the last one. It could have been. I don't think it was. Because like behind the counter, they always have like all the prizes that have already been won. And they like are marking them off.
Right.
So you can like see what's left.
Would you have been like really excited to be able to pick which rag?
I mean, one of them was like octopus shaped instead of square shaped, and it was one of the like octo guys.
Do you use
And
those
it
for
was
anything? Or
yeah,
yeah.
I
Really?
usually have one in my purse all the time for like. So in Japan, a lot of restrooms don't have paper towels or any way to dry your
Right.
hands, so you have to.
Or
use
toilet
that.
paper.
Or no.
Yeah. You never know.
So yeah, I usually have one in my purse, and while I'm washing one, I probably
Right,
have
right,
another
right,
one
right,
because I
right.
do all these stupid things.
All right. So they are worth the 680 yen.
Yeah, I think it's
entry
fun.
fee.
Usually I look at it and I'm like, well, if it's a brand or like a fandom that I really like and the lowest prize is something I wouldn't spend that money on. Like if the lowest one and I'm like, would I pay 680 yen for that at a store?
Would you for a rag?
Probably not anymore just because I have so many of them.
Right.
But like for the Tears of the Kingdom Ichiban Kuji,
Right.
their keychains were
Yeah.
like the like kind of rubber style, and they were the Koroks.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's an all right looking keychain. I'd pay 600 yen for that. So
All
if
right.
I can justify the lowest prize, then I'll usually do it.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I think we all that like I would participate a lot more if I could justify it. Like,
Yeah.
for sure. Of
And
course.
it's just fun.
Yeah, why not? It's
Yeah.
it's sort of like gotcha. I mean, except you could go bigger.
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
it costs a lot more than gotcha, but
Not crazy more, though.
that's true. That's true.
Like a lot of the gachas out there are like 400 to 500 yen.
But the thing about those is you've already decided anything I get is going to be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
with the gotchas.
But at least, yeah, like you said, the Ichiban Kujis, like you could get like the sweet big prize.
You could, and you've
Yeah.
done that twice.
Yeah, a couple times.
Wow.
Yeah, I've gotten like the big plushie several times.
Kinsey, I would love. Now, this is just an idea. I would love for you to get a spreadsheet.
I'll keep track of my winnings.
Of your expenses, your winnings, and a photo of all of the prizes.
I do like spreadsheets.
You do, especially now. Now that you're like a full-fledged producer, you're like into it. You like making them. I
do
feel like
like
you like
making
making
them.
them more than you like using them. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
100%.
Making them is fun though.
Yeah, and I'm like, what color scheme am I going to go for this? How
yeah,
am I
like
gonna
the
organize
banner.
this?
What color is that going to be, and what color is the word total going to be, or whatever. But I think that would be a lot of fun for our Discord community if you could make a spreadsheet and then updated it. I'm
Oh,
just
man.
saying. I'm just saying. I think it's a cool idea.
It would be cool. If anyone on the Discord thinks that's a good idea, let us know in the Discord.
Or Google Slides or something. I don't know, like something to have all the photos because it's sort of like a blog, but like it's straight up like you just update it.
Yeah.
And here's the link. I don't like Ichiban Kuji. However, I would like to participate in your journey.
It's
for
like
this kind of shit.
vicariously.
Yeah, and I would throw money down occasionally, like for you to spend more on it because I mean I don't need any of this stuff, but I do like the fun element.
Yeah, I think it's fun. But a surprise one, that's fun. I walked in and I was like, Splatoon!
Right. Yeah.
What you doing?
Yeah. You love, and for listeners, she loves surprises. I mean, it's like, it should be like, oh my God, did you know this? Like, I have no idea what you're talking about. But yeah, so that's great.
So what's going on in Mark?
Yeah. So I was about to say that this whole week I was in Tokyo and I had a fantastic time. I was up there to see my good friend Scott Popular. Go to twitter.com/Scott Popular to see his weird photos. And we were just hanging out, and we were location scouting for an upcoming event that we're putting on. Mm-hmm. And I got to go to a it's not a strip club, okay?
Burlesque club.
Burlesque, but pole dancing. Mm-hmm. There was no nudity, but and there were male dancers. In case I didn't say that part, but Scott took me to one of those. That was my first time going to an adult-oriented place, and it was so much fun. At the place, they give you for 1,000 yen, you buy $5 US. Mm-hmm. Okay,
I kind of love that they do ones.
Yeah,
US ones.
It was sick. It was sick. So like, I was like, well, I mean, I want to have fun. Let's make it. Give me a lot.
Yeah.
And Scott taught me how to make it rain, so to speak. But I only made it rain on the male dancer because that was way more fun.
Yeah.
And and I'm making it sound like it was pretty raunchy or something. This place really wasn't.
Yeah.
It was pretty down to earth. But I had a great time up in Tokyo. I also ate at a Hulk Hogan's favorite steakhouse. Hulk Hogan, the professional wrestler.
Hulk Hogan's favorite steakhouse.
Yes. So I weird. I was walking down
in Japan.
In Japan, yeah. Ooh. I was walking down the street and I saw this steakhouse, and it had thousands of photos of professional wrestlers that were eating there. From The Rock to John Cena to thousands, and so I ate there, and it was expensive, and it wasn't that great. I liked it though. I had a good time.
Hulk Hogan.
The cook in the inside, they were playing Hank Williams, and I'm a big Hank Williams fan.
That's
so it was
vibe.
really cozy in there, and the cook was just singing like, so it felt more home than home.
Yeah.
There's definitely no steakhouse like this place in the States, but it felt like the States in the middle of nowhere, Texas.
Yeah.
It was really, really cool.
That's kind of rad. I like it.
Yeah.
And speaking of rad, we got a great episode coming up for you. As always, we will start with What Up, where we talk about what we're playing. Then we'll slide right into the main topic, then news, and then we'll answer your questions from Discord.
Today's show is brought to you by EPOS Gaming Audio with a comprehensive lineup of wired, I was about to say weird, and wireless headsets, gaming amplifiers, microphones, and webcams for those naughty bits. EPOS has everything you need to experience the power of audio.
Like their H6 Pro lineup, which features two versions, an open or a closed headset. The closed headset allows you to tap into the exponentially detailed audio and seals out the ambient noise, while the open version delivers a natural, high-fidelity audio with an incredible soundstage.
I like that you said exponential, and you didn't mean that. Both headsets include a magnetic detachable microphone. You can take it off. It's kind of
great, yeah.
And a sleek design that has no wild RGB. Okay, no RGB bullshit. It's not bright. That's a good thing. I don't like that. That's dorky as hell.
It just has good design.
Just good design. Listeners can save by visiting www.eposaudio.com/gaming and entering the code EPOSFriend15, EPOSFriend15 at checkout.
Get those headphones because they're amazing.
Exponentially.
And next up, we got What Up, where we talk about what we're playing.
Kinsey Burke, as always. You try to get me to talk first because you try to get me. I'll do it.
Yeah, what are you playing?
Yeah,
what are you playing?
Yeah, I didn't have to wait for you to get me. So it's. I think we're both going to share this. It's Steam Next Fest right now, and for those that don't know, that's this time where basically Steam promotes demos on Steam, and it compels a lot of developers to put like short demos and whatnot. So I checked out a lot of first-person shooters. It's my favorite genre. Of course, I'm going to check it out. So first, I want to say to Steam, I want to point it out to you. Make it easy to find first-person shooters. Don't put them in the same category as regular shooters. It is a mess. I don't get why they wouldn't. Anyway,
Yeah.
I played a bunch, and the one that I'm most excited about, and I've actually been excited about for a long time, is New Blood Interactive's published Rise of the Triad. And it's a remake by Apogee. It's like a 1-to-1 remake of the original.
Oh, cool.
And I don't know if you're familiar with the original. It's it's the old school 2.5D base, like that era in between Doom 2 and the future of gaming, and it's like the Duke Nukem era. And it feels great. You get to kill Nazis right away. It's everything I want in a game. It's bloody. It sounds like crap, but in a good way.
It's a little crunchy.
It's super. I mean, it's just the crunchiest game.
Nice.
So I mean, it still looks. It looks like if Duke Nukem is a better like a point for you to like. It looks like Duke Nukem. It looks like 1998. It looks like everything that was made before Quake, and that's exactly what I like, because boomer shooter is my favorite genre, probably. I feel like I talk about shooters the most of all. Like,
I think so.
Yeah, like I don't know, they resonate with me really well, and I'm really happy that the company New Blood Interactive knows how to market them, because I look at like Devolver and they do Serious Sam and stuff, and I feel like they're trying to market Serious Sam to a broad audience, which is a good idea. Yeah. It's a good idea in effect, but New Blood is like, nope, no broad audience. People that like this game.
You're right.
And it just comes right into my veins, and I play it. So I will be getting that. I don't really know how to review the game accurately, because it is everything I just said. It's a boomer shooter. It looks like from 1998. There's not a lot. I'm not trying to convert you out there. I'm trying to say, if you know what it is, you'll like it. And if you don't, you probably won't like it, like straight up.
But you might.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, it's to get new. It's for an audience that exists. Yeah. It's going to be hard to get people that aren't into boomer shooters to enjoy this.
Yeah, yeah.
But 100% of boomer shooters will. Yeah, it's not necessarily based on nostalgia, because I played Rise of the Triad back in the day. However, I didn't like it or something. But now that I'm older, I'm like, oh, this is what I was missing out on. A lot of these elements, like this is a better Duke Nukem. This is this is much better gameplay. So I feel like 100% of us boomer shooter fans are going to be buying this game. Yeah. And if you like boomer shooters, it is for you 100%. Like it is. It's bloody. It's funny. It's silly. You get to blast Nazis with a shotgun. What else do you want? Like, it's so dope. So I won't belabor this. Kinsey Burke, what are you playing?
So I also checked out a demo during the Steam Next Fest, and it's a game that I've been following its development for quite a while, and I think a lot of the internet has as well. Sure. But that's Little Kitty Big City.
Little Kitty Big City.
And like, it's so cute, and I don't know, like, I think I'm just a sucker for a game that the main character is a cat. I mean, to be honest. But I did like the whole idea of just walking around being a cat. Like,
what kind of game is it? I don't know.
For the most part, you're like a regular like apartment cat in Japan, and it opens, you're sleeping on the balcony, and you fall off. And you can't get back up because it's really high.
Got to go home.
Yeah, and you got to get home.
Right.
Yeah.
And what kind of game is it?
It's like a third-person adventure game.
It's a cat 'em up.
It's a cat 'em up. Yeah. So you're like walking around, and you can like knock shit over. You can trip people. Right. And so really all that they have in the demo is like collect these 25 things, and then you trade the crow the shiny things because it's a crow. Yeah. And the crow will help you get home. Or like collect these things, and the tanuki will do something really trippy. Or cool. Like do like, it's a lot of like get these things, do this thing quests. Kind of like, it reminds me a lot of Untitled Goose Game. Okay. Because like, you can, like, in Untitled Goose Game, you could, like, honk at people and shit and, like, bother them. And this one, you can, like, either, like, bat at people's legs, or you can, like, rub up against their legs and you trip them. And for some reason, whenever you trip people, they drop sandwiches. Okay. Because people just carry a lot of sandwiches, you know?
You never know.
You know, there's...
Oh, well, it is Japan. So so the game takes place in Japan, and it's, like, what's the look? Like a cel-shaded, or it's a...
It's kind of... I don't know. It's kind of an in-between. The cat is almost like Pixar-y. Okay. A little bit. And then, like, but all the characters are very, like, the they kind of remind me of like Katamari people, where they don't really have faces and they're kind of like blocky and like robotic. Like, because the people aren't the important part.
Yeah, they're just like enemies, sort of. Like.
Yeah. And so in the demo, I completed almost 0 of the actual tasks, and I tripped a lot of people, and I stole their cell phones, and I made a big pile of cell phones in the corner behind the vending machine.
Okay, so you were Grand Theft Autoing in that game, and like you, instead of defeating any of the objectives, you just fucked around with the system.
Yeah, but some of the stuff is so cool. Like some people might be carrying their phone, and they'll be like, "Oh, a cat," and try to take a picture, and then if you run away, they'll be like, "Oh."
Oh, that's cute.
And so I think it'll be really cute. Like, it is, like, obviously in, like, the really early stages still.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be really fun. Because I like being a cat. I loved games like Untitled Goose Game. So I think this will be fun. And it's a cat doing cat things. So, I mean, you're going to like it.
Kinsey, if you were, when you go to furry conventions, what animal do you...
You ask me what my fursona is?
What? Is that a word?
Yeah. It's a word.
No, let's not. I'm not asking. Now that I know that that's a word, yeah, I'm good, dude. I'm good. So I assume it would be a cat anyway. Like,
maybe.
Well, considering Halo is when we played Halo, you had cat ears, which you paid.
I paid real money.
Hard-earned money.
Paid real money for those
$10
cat
US, if I recall. Yeah, dude. Okay.
Worth it.
That's So what else are you playing?
As always, I'm still playing Zelda.
Yeah.
Last time on the Zelda update, we talked about how I was exploring the depths more.
Right.
And doing the outfit hunt.
Yes.
I'm still exploring the depths a little bit more, but now I think I'm doing that thing where, like, I'm just going to locations I haven't been to before for the sake of going, not because I have a quest.
Right.
But, like, almost avoiding finishing it, because I'm at the, like, pretty much the end as far as main story goes.
Right.
I'm just, like, putting it off. It's like when you are, like, about to finish a good book, but you don't really want to finish it because then that good book's over.
Well, when it's a good book, you can't like read along the edges of the paper and try to avoid it. Like, but if it's, how about this? How about it's like you're eating a great steak and you're like, let me just eat the peas first.
Yeah.
All right, let me eat the mashed potatoes.
Yeah. Or like saving that last bite.
Like just what can I eat? So it sounds like you know the end is inevitable.
Yep. It's very close.
And you want to do anything in your power to not end, because if you beat the game, would you not want to keep playing it?
I'd probably play it for a little bit longer, but not much. I think once I beat it, unless depends on how it ends, I guess.
Right.
If there's like post-game stuff, I'll probably keep going.
Right.
But
the first game had no post-game stuff.
Yeah.
And I assumed it would.
Yeah.
And it doesn't.
I guess with a world that big, you don't really need post-game stuff because people have their own to-do lists in their head of what they need to do.
Yeah, and also if you do post-game stuff, it does make it so like a lot of the talking triggers have to change. Mm-hmm. And like now that you beat Ganon, go have fun. You can't, like, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, yeah.
Know?
And no one's like, we are you still looking for Zelda?
Yeah.
Everyone's just like, oh, thanks.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I was thinking about that with like, you can like, you can accomplish quests without having the quests in Zelda, you know? So, but then that is all that additional dialogue that has to be written. When someone's like, oh, Link, you need to go get the Master Sword. And you're like, bro, I got it. And they're like, oh, you already have it. Like, there's a lot of that going on when I play.
Sure.
Because I just wander around so much that, like, I end up finding a lot of this stuff.
Right.
Because a lot of one thing that's kind of cool about it is you're not like blocked off from it. Like, it's not like this one area opens when you get the quest. You could always go there.
Right.
You know, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So you're about to beat the game, and you're going to do everything in your power to not beat the game. For how much longer?
Fun. That's true. Because this is what the third or fourth episode where I've only talked about Zelda. And
I believe it's the fourth. Yeah.
Maybe I should just beat it. We'll see.
If you want. I mean, like you said with the first game, you got everything you wanted out of it, and you said, I don't like the game enough to beat it.
It's not that I didn't like it enough to beat it.
Right. I know. Well, I'd like you to beat this one.
Yeah, I think I will.
Yeah.
But speaking of... Nope, not a speaking of. What I should be playing... I don't have it yet because I don't have a PS5, but most of my Twitter timeline is talking about Final Fantasy 16.
Uh-oh.
And I don't have a PS5.
You
so
like
I can't
Final
play it.
Fantasy.
And I like Final
like
Fantasy.
Moogles.
I like all of that
You
stuff.
like Wizard Man.
I do like the Wizard
You
Man.
like Culex.
Oh, Culex.
That is a character.
But I do like Zelda.
Yeah.
Or
What-
did I say Zelda? Oh,
Yeah, whatever
Moogles.
you said. Yeah.
I like all the things.
You like Ultros. You like what? I'm trying to
I
think.
don't know. I was such like a big Final Fantasy fan, and I
Yeah.
feel like I've kind of fallen off the ship. But talk I've seen about 16 so far, it does seem like it's really good, and the demo was like amazing. Apparently,
But we're going
I haven't
on
played it.
apparently.
apparently, yeah, I know. I need to play it. I need to play it.
Yeah, and because you also said one of our friends said that Indiana Jones is good. Well, everyone else says it fucking shit. So apparently, my ass.
I want to see it.
I know, but we're talking about Final Fantasy. What's the probability you get around to playing Final Fantasy 16? 17? 16?
16.
Okay.
Probably, I don't know, man. Maybe not anytime soon, because like I also need a new TV. And if I'm buying a PS5, like for the most part, it would really only be Final Fantasy at this point. That would be why I'm buying it.
Right.
And I don't know if like $500 is worth buying for one game.
All right. I tell you what.
It's a whole thing.
It
You
is-
understand.
Yeah, they do.
Right?
And that's kind of what I was gonna get at here for a second. One of our listeners works for Sony, and hey, this is to you specifically. We both need a PlayStation 5, and what we'll do is if you can send us two, send them to Chu High Labs, courtesy of Mark and Kinsey. Send two of them. We'll have your back for a minute. You know what I mean? Like she's trying to play like that, and I'm trying to like watch her dad's Netflix. Yeah, I hope you get a chance to, because like you have loved Final Fantasy even through thick and very thin.
Yeah.
You know, like some very thinning hair up there. I think that Final Fantasy has been showing its age for quite a minute, but I want you to get back to it and enjoy and not have FOMO. That's what I want,
know.
Kinsey Burke.
I want to play it. I wish it came out on PS4 because I don't necessarily care that much about like the up-res graphics and stuff. I
Sure.
just want to play it.
Yeah.
And especially after like I put off Horizon 2 for so long, and then I played it on PS4 because I didn't want to wait any longer, and it was fine.
Right.
Like it looked great. It looked amazing. So like,
Well, they're both. I mean, especially those. These are first-party games, and they would be optimized for that experience.
Yeah.
So, Sony is not gonna biff a game that's on both consoles.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be great.
yeah.
I hope you can figure that out, and I
Thank
hope
you.
that when it finally comes to PC, which it probably will, then you can. It will, right?
I don't know. Maybe.
Don't all Final Fantasies eventually come to?
Yeah. Some of the older ones took a long time, but yeah.
Okay. Well,
We'll
it'll come.
see.
Well, yeah.
Hi, this is Mono, the host of Tokyo Game Life, a Tokyo-based video game podcast focusing on Nintendo and gaming culture in Japan's capital. It's your slice of gaming life from Tokyo. Every episode features deep dives into gaming-related places to visit in Tokyo, interviews with fans, developers, and experts, plus detailed thoughts on both retro and new games. Tokyo Game Life, only on the Tokyo Beat Network.
And now it's time for our weekly topic. And you know what?
No.
We've had a lot of news-centered main topics lately.
Yeah.
And I want to change it up. You know what? We're going to do an anniversary.
Anniversary. What's the anniversary for this week's topic, Kinsey Bork?
Banjo-Kazooie was originally released on the Nintendo 64 on June 29th, 1998. So happy 25th anniversary, Banjo-Kazooie.
Happy 25th anniversary, Kinsey Burke. Banjo-Kazooie is it's an important part of your life in particular. And here, I'm gonna lay it out. Your favorite game right now is Zelda, and Zelda is just a straight up copy of Nuts and Bolts. Banjo-Kazooie. No. So you had a Nintendo 64 growing up. You did all that. Was Banjo-Kazooie like a big part of the Kinsey pantheon?
I think the first time I cried during a video game was because my brother deleted my Banjo-Kazooie save.
You'd have been like 15.
I remember I got on the bus and I was like, hey, random guy I always sit by,
Right.
My brother deleted my save. Can I get it back? And he's like, no. And I'm like,
I'll never get to collect the music notes again. And
no, my jiggies.
Is that what they're called?
The jigsaw puzzle pieces.
My jiggies. All right. Okay. So why don't you tell us about what the heck banjo is? I know. Like we're already jumping into just like what and then why it's so fucking important, like for modern games and why it's still relevant today.
So for those of you who don't know, although if you're listening to this, I'm sure you know.
Just talk to them like they're stupid as they are. All right.
Banjo-Kazooie is a 3D platformer on the Nintendo 64, and you play as Banjo, and you have Kazooie, who is a bird, in your backpack, so that way you can like glide and do all those cool things bears can't do.
It gives the additional powers.
Yeah, it gives you additional powers.
Right.
I like ukulele is very much based on it is Banjo-Kazooie.
Ukulele is the game that came out a few years back. That's like a side spin-off.
Yeah, isn't it
like,
a lizard and a bat?
Right. So
But,
So if you don't mind, like a little bit of more context, this is a classic Rare game, and Rare traditionally now it's owned by Microsoft, but Rare is a UK-based video game company that was basically second party to Nintendo. Its entire career until it was sold off to Microsoft. And so today, when we think of platformers and 3D games on the Nintendo 64, it is probably one of the three most said names, if not the second most said name behind Mario.
It was made in the like golden age of 3D platformers.
Absolutely.
Like this is when we went beyond just the mascot platformers of the Super Nintendo. Now they're 3D, and we can make our own mascots like Banjo.
Yeah, I'm a huge Rare fan, like all the way back, like from Battletoads to like a lot of these like extremely hard era, like from Nintendo into the Super Nintendo, extremely hard and classic games like Wizards and Warriors. And wait, that might be wrong. I don't want to speak on that. I think it is Rare, but they always had a look, they always had a style, and like characters was always super important. And I think that like. Now, I'm going to be wrong here, but this is just me hypothesizing. But I think that like Rare made this like move into the 3D world where they were like, all right, let's make the games a little easier, and let's make them a lot more consumable and fun. And so, what's the story like in Banjo? What is he after? I don't know. I've played the game. I've beat the game. I don't know what the story is.
Your sister is kidnapped by Gruntilda, the witch.
Okay.
And you're trying to get her back. Is that right? I think that's right.
It's right enough, right? Yeah. Well, I mean, it can't be that complex.
Yeah, because the witch is like all like ugly and stuff, and she wants to steal her youth and become hot. Because the game over screen in Banjo-Kazooie is basically that.
Okay.
And then she's like super hot.
Oh.
Yeah, you should watch that game over screen.
What's up? No, I don't remember. Yeah. So, did you get the game like during the launch window?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got it for, when did it come out? June? Maybe I got it that Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't know what it was about Banjo. Like the music was super charming. Like all the sound design is so good. Everything makes little noises. Like you can even like talk to inanimate objects like the Jiggies, and they're like, and they're like adorable. And it came out when there was like 500 million 3D platformers coming out, and like in 1998, 3D platformer was my favorite genre. I'm pretty sure.
I think it was everyone's favorite genre.
Yeah, because you got like I have a list here of the best-selling ones because I wasn't quite sure how to organize it. But so best-selling, it's all the heavy hitters. It's Super Mario 64. It's Donkey Kong 64, which I also loved, and I feel like
played that game.
Not as many people like Donkey Kong 64 because it's like different than all the other Donkey Kongs before it because it's 3D and you can play as like all the other Kongs and it's like kind of great. And side note, it had a multiplayer mode that was basically GoldenEye.
Right.
And it was awesome.
I can't imagine it was basically GoldenEye.
Basically GoldenEye.
Yeah, all right. Okay, yeah. So what are the heavy hitters, the golden era?
Of course, Banjo-Kazooie is next on that list. Then Banjo-Tooie.
Right, okay. That's the sequel.
And then Yoshi's Story. Some might argue it's 2.5D, but whatever. And Kirby 64 are the best-selling Nintendo 64 3D platformer.
Right. Yoshi's Story is 2.5D.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And it's amazing.
It's a good game, yeah. We're here to talk about
good.
Banjo. Yeah. So like it was like I said before in the preface there, like Banjo is like one of the pinnacle, 3D platformers. I would assume that it's like so many platformers are made in since then because of it.
Yeah.
Like
I think I've met so many people who are like, I like people who are my age or a little bit younger who just have such fond memories of that game. Like Liam, who works with us here on Curse to Golf, he loves Banjo-Kazooie, and it's just so many people have that like feeling towards it, almost maybe more than 64 in Mario 64 in some cases.
I think so. I think its legacy is, it's gonna sound weird, but I think that there are more Banjo games that are directly linked to this than like there's not a second Mario 64.
Right.
Like Mario goes off in his own like direction each time, whereas Banjo there's the key elements, and the key elements though remind me. It's a collect 'em up, right? Like that's the main thing of the game, right?
Yep, it's a progress levels, learn new powers, and collect the things.
It's mostly about finding stuff.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You got to get the jiggies, and you have to get so many jiggies to continue forward.
Right.
And you also collect the little gummy bear guys, who I can never remember that G fruit guys.
Juji fruit. Juji fruit. Let me get them Juji fruits. All right. Yeah. So okay. Yeah. And
some of the levels are all really, really cool too, because they're like drastically different biomes. I felt like kind of like Mario 64, but I felt like they had like way more like personality in each level.
So I think that everybody likes Mario 64. It's kind of a known thing, right?
It's evergreen.
But I think that the people with more refined tastes, tend to go for the Banjo, because I think it's more complex, but it's simple and more complex at the same time.
So do you remember when there was that thing that went viral for a while that was like you could tell people things anonymously? It was just a website that people could tell you things anonymously. That's the whole purpose of it.
Sure.
And somebody used that website instead of just being like, you're ugly or something. Sure. The one that hurt my feelings the most.
What, you sent a link out and said, hey, tell me.
Not smart.
Tell me, I'm an influencer, and tell me things that you anonymously. Go on.
And someone said, what did they say? It was like, Banjo-Kazooie hasn't aged as well as you think it has.
I mean, he's right. Yeah, that hurts more than like, Mark, shave your beard. You look stupid.
I mean, the camera was a little fucked in certain. If you were ever like, there was this one level, like the sewer level in Banjo-Kazooie, and you could like go inside the mecha shark.
Okay, and there's walls or something.
And there's so many walls, and it's so like close. That like turning the camera was like the worst. You would just go into walls and stuff and be like, where am I? But then of course you're also underwater, so then you're gonna run out of air and you're gonna drown.
Oh no.
But you're like trying to like look around. Oh my God.
Right. So I mean, listen, of the golden era, the camera was it was a hard thing to figure out.
Yeah, and Banjo-Kazooie is not the only game of this era of 3D platformers that suffered from this.
No, I'm saying of the golden era, I like. So we have a list, a broader list of games outside of the 64. We've got the PS1 because that was the direct competitor, and we've got games like Blasto and Crash Bandicoot and Spyro and Tomba 2 and Croc, and it's easy to say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Camera was an issue.
Yeah.
I left out one title, and that was Ape Escape, because Ape Escape was the one that figured it out. Because
Ape Escape is really good.
I don't love that game, but it's the first that's like, use both sticks. Well, it required it on the PlayStation as well. It was like the first one, but my point being, Banjo had camera issues. They all did.
They all did.
They had to.
Even Mario 64 falls victim to that. So
it does. I mean, but that's why the Mario 64 was like they tried with the C buttons being, zoom in, zoom out, and then right, left. Like it's still they did the best they could without thinking about having a second stick.
Yeah.
Yep. But that doesn't mean those games are really hard to go back to because of that.
Yeah.
Like our taste has changed so radically.
Like it was probably 10 years ago or so. I was playing Mario 64. I wanted to play through it again.
Right.
And there's one part in the ice level. So not even that far into the game. It's like the second level. But I was doing the 10 red coin thing. 5 red coins, 10 red coins. And like you're up against a wall and you have to like backflip onto this platform.
Wahoo.
Yeah, because like it's too high to do regular jumps. You got to backflip up. But it's like in this indented wall. So when you turn the camera to like figure out where you're jumping to. Oh, and if you miss, there's no floor. So then you just die.
Great.
And oh god,
I see.
I like had forgotten how frustrating it is to like turn the camera just right and to also figure out where you're actually going to land, like which way Mario's facing, and without you can only look so far because you're going to clip into the wall. Yeah. Fun.
So now we're complaining about that old camera work over here. So what is the 25th anniversary? Where do you would you like where Banjo went? Did you care where Banjo went in his lineage? And
I mean, I liked Nuts and Bolts.
And he's gone on to make other games.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think there's one after Nuts and Bolts.
It was probably great. But like
Banjo hasn't been around in a while though.
Well, yeah, but I think his legacy has. I think that I think a lot of modern 3D games take our not nostalgia, but how we remember Banjo in our heads.
That might be better in a way than having a new Banjo.
But I think they do.
Because it's great.
I think, like you said, ukulele. That's the direct spiritual successor.
Yeah.
You know, made by the same team, and it looks fucking spectacular.
Yeah.
It looks spectacular, but but if they were to go back to just straight up Banjo, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think its legacy is fantastic in that it's inspired a lot of games, and now we can move forward. I wish the best to you, Banjo. I want another 25 years. I want another pinnacle game.
Yeah. Do you have any favorite 3D platformers, or is there any that you think are hidden gems, one might say?
Well, I mean, that whole era is like we said, like it's the golden era in the same way comic books was the 60s. Like you and I don't read comic books from the 60s. Like,
yeah.
But it was the golden era. It was that's when things were born.
Yeah.
Like, you know, with comics, it was like X-Men and all these things all came from the 60s. And then with this, like we had, we had the whole fucking genre. But the ones that are really, I was a PS boy, so the ones that called me out were like Blasto, which I was really lucky to work over at Q Games with Dylan Cuthbert, who worked on Blasto. I like that game a little less because of the controls, because they stink.
Yeah.
But more because of the voice actor, Phil Hartman from The Simpsons.
Oh, hell yeah.
But the one that really, really called me out that I still think holds up really well is Spyro.
Spyro, I have amazing memories of playing Spyro.
It still looks good to me. It still looks good. It sounds amazing. The voice acting is, I think it has John Goodman in it. It has like god tier voice acting. But they tried really hard with the camera issues. I believe it was a free swinging camera with the R buttons.
Yeah.
That's like a good idea.
Yeah.
You know, like that's a good happy medium. It's not going to be as fluid and analog as the analog stick, but it was pretty good.
Yeah.
And I also like Tomba 2. I don't know if you know the Tomba series. Tomba 1 is like one of my all-time favorite Metroidvania games. I think it's one of the silliest games out there. And Tomba 2 is not one of my all-time favorite games, but it's it's great ideas. You know, and our dear friend Swery was the scenario writer on that. And I believe he's uncredited, and he's still butthurt over that.
Damn,
so
I would be.
Shout out to Swery, and I love that game. So telling him that I love that game, and then he was like, "Oh, I worked on that." That was a cool moment.
Oh, that's awesome.
What about you? What are some other classic era?
I have really good memories of playing Gex.
Oh,
Enter the Gecko.
Oh.
Which was on 64, but
Right.
I think most people played it on PlayStation. Amazing Dana Gould one-liners.
Yeah.
I in preparing for this show, I was reading Mark one-liners
Yeah.
from the game.
What you got? What was your favorite one? What was your favorite one?
I like the one, what is it? It's like, with all this technology and Shatner still can't find a good hairpiece.
With all this technology, yeah. Yeah, it's cute. Yeah. Mine was one that really stuck with me was Hoffa or Jimmy Hoffa to the white courtesy phone. Like I thought it was like really funny because a lot of those jokes were like super Hollywood in jokes. And
Yeah.
they have to do with comedians, and there's no way we kids could have possibly
No.
gotten these. Yeah.
Like, it was just a really, like, smart game. But even if you didn't understand the one-liners, it didn't really matter. Because, like, the levels were fun. And, like, I don't know, Gex, even if you didn't understand him, he's, like, kind of like James Bondy.
Yeah, of course. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now so I'm gonna divert this a little bit.
And he wears the little outfits.
We talked about Blasto.
Mm-hmm.
I know this is a thing about Banjo over here, but we talked about Blasto. We talked about Spyro.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about Toma too, and Gex. They all have famous voice actors doing like crack jokes, like not crack jokes,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but like
Making
like
jokes.
little
yeah.
zingers, you
Yeah.
know. Whatever happened to that? Let's bring back that. We don't need Banjo. Let's bring back zingers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what all of those, like, have in common.
Yeah, just like the character is just kind of a little bastard. You
Yeah.
know, like a little smarmy little shitbird. You
And
know?
the 90s, that was perfect for it. Because it's like, it kind of goes with that 90s tude.
No, it wasn't like radical, man. It was
Not
more
quite like that,
it was
but-
more cynical.
Yeah.
And like cutting, you know, like
good.
and like yeah, very very funny and just kind of bitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's where I get all my life sense from. Oh no, maybe I shouldn't play these games.
But let me think. I am also kind of nostalgic for some of the lesser known ones that were like a little bit on maybe the cheaper side. Because when I was a kid, I was very much like, I could get that one game for $70, or I can get these 12 games for
Right.
$70.
Oh, yeah, a deal.
So I did that a lot. And like, I played Chameleon Twist 1 and 2.
Goodness me.
And they
Come
were,
on now.
but they were, Chameleon Twist 2 is so fun.
Oh man. So you're nostalgic for these, or like I mean, are they good?
I think Chameleon Twist 2 is good.
Okay.
And like, and both the Chameleon Twist games, like, it's a 3D platformer, just like all the other ones. But you can like control the chameleon's tongue.
Right.
So like, if I'm on this platform, but there's a wall, but on the other side of the wall, there's like a thing I can grab onto. You could be like, and like go around,
Oh.
go around it. You're a chameleon, so your tongue will stick,
And
then
it
you
goes,
can.
whoop. Yeah. Okay.
And like, it was kind of a fun, like, different way to do it.
Right.
And I
okay.
feel like that's what made a lot of the 3D platformers stand out, was if it wasn't just a 3D platformer, it had one other thing. Was it silly voice acting? Was it, you know, a tongue? Was it
Right.
Kazooie being in your backpack and letting you do all these additional powers? Like, they always had just something else to bring to the table for the most part. The ones that stick in our head.
Sure. I think you're absolutely right. I actually would go further to say that they all had like run, jump, and then plus some power that made that.
Plus something else.
And they were all a cute animal.
Yeah.
All of them.
Speaking of cute animals,
Uh-huh.
you know what else was one of my favorite 3D platformers?
Bomberman Hero.
What kind of animal is he?
He's a Bomberman.
Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Conker's bad for. Hey, there's another little shitbird.
Yeah. I loved that game when I was little. And I remember I couldn't play it at first because my parents wouldn't buy it for me.
Because
So I had to get a
he'd
little
be like,
bit
"Shut
older."
up, bitch!
Yeah, I mean, kind of,
I'ma
yeah.
kill you, motherfucker!"
You're not that far off. But I remember one of the times I played it, I got it on the Xbox when it Conquer Live and Reloaded.
Okay.
And my old roommate used to just get high and watch me play games.
I mean, that sounds sick.
And so, like,
Well, I mean, getting high.
yeah,
Continue.
and so she was watching me play Conquer, and she's like not a video game person at all.
Right.
And she'd watch me play a few other games, and then she's watching this game, and she's like, "What the fuck?"
Right.
Like, she was like, it was the part where like you're trying to get the bee and the flower together,
Yes.
and like once you finally finish the level, it's like, and they have all these like sexy noises, and
Oh, it's a bee and a flower.
yeah.
Okay.
And you're trying to get them together, and the bee is like kind of this big, gross, horny old man bee.
Right, and they were implying that he puts his.
They were implying
his
stinger went in her stamen.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. And
But she was like
cross species humping.
First, she was like, "What?"
Right.
And then we got to the Great and Mighty Pooh, and then she was like, "I'm out."
Right. Shout out to Rare for making her old roommate, who is high on weed, not enjoy
She was
watching
very
feces.
uncomfortable. Also,
Oh, we're still going.
also, Conquer Live and Reloaded had the multiplayer mode that was awesome.
That's the one where you like invade Normandy or some shit, right?
Kinda, yeah.
I think you actually do, right?
Yeah, it's like all set like in that era, and
it's in World War II.
yeah, and it's kind of, I feel like in ways it's generic war, but like, yeah, it was fun. It was really fun to play.
Hello, my name is Dan Gorman, one of your trusty Chuhai Labs Discord moderators, back again to tell you to play this shit. Strikey Sisters is a fantasy-themed action arcade brick-breaking puzzle game from DYA Games. Another recommendation for me that does the whole take a puzzle game and add other mechanics onto it thing that I love so much. I'm always reaching for these things, and in this case, it's a brick breaker like Arkanoid with a layer of magical RPG style on top. You can tackle this game's world map in whatever order you want, power up your character with attacks, different ball types, you can find secrets, you will be fighting bosses, and more, and the aesthetic of this game really reminds me of classic arcade Neo Geo games. I think maybe there's a pinch of magical drop or puzzle bobble in the vibe of this game that I really like. I picked this up for $5, and it has been well worth the money. You can grab this on Steam, you can grab it on Switch where it's perfect, and check it out. Strikey Sisters from DYA Games. It's very good. I've been really enjoying my time with it. My name is Dan Gorman. Of course, join the Chuhai Labs Discord. And as always, play good games. Play this shit. Bye.
And now it's time for
The news!
We had a lot of news happen since our last episode.
Tell me
Did
about
you know
this.
that?
Tell
So
me
much
more
news.
than two things.
News.
Yeah, what you got?
So a Nintendo Direct happened since our last episode,
Uh-oh.
and there was a lot of things announced. One that is especially exciting if you're a long-term Nintendo fan, it's Super Mario RPG. They are making a remake, and I think it looks awesome.
Did you play the original Super Mario RPG?
I did not. That's why I'm
Yeah.
so excited about it, because it's one of those things that, because I missed Super Nintendo because I was a Genesis kid,
Right.
and like there's so many games I just never went back to because I didn't get my first Super Nintendo until I was in college.
Okay.
So like there's still a lot of holes in that library for me. And I'm very excited for the Mario RPG remake, and also a brand new Mario game, Super Mario Wonder, was announced.
Yep.
And a new WarioWare. There's also a sequel to Detective Pikachu. Obviously, we're #1 fans.
Yeah.
DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Luigi's Mansion's
Did you
Dark.
say Scarlet and Barlet?
Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah, what's up, Scarlet and Barlet? Yeah.
Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon Remaster, which I'm personally really excited about because I really like. That's the 3DS one.
Yeah.
Vampire Survivor is finally making its way onto the Switch, complete with couch co-op, and a new Dragon Quest Monsters game, and more. Because there was a lot announced. I was trying to squeeze in so much into this paragraph, and I was like,
yeah,
oh my God.
this is like less news and more just like points.
Listed.
I'm cautiously excited about Super Mario RPG. In the trailer, so I played the shit out of that game when it came out. In the trailer, it looked exactly like it.
Yeah, it's like a 1-to-1.
Yeah, and that's the part that makes me cautious, where it's sort of like it's been 30 fucking years. Could we just get a little more?
Yeah.
You know, but I'm cautious about it. It does look really good. It doesn't look. If we look at the Link's Awakening remake.
Oh, I loved that.
Yeah, so that is a move.
Yeah.
You know, they're like it's the same game, but we're gonna make it look fucking dazzling.
Yeah.
If they had gone kind of in that direction, I wouldn't be being as cautious right now.
Got it. Yeah. Just a little bit.
Just
more.
a little. I still like the way all the characters look.
Yeah.
I think there's Mario's still super deformed. I think that's really, really cute. I just just a little something, and maybe I wish that they had given us the fans like one hint that there's an additional like piece of content.
Yeah.
For example, what if they had just shown Luigi for a split
yeah.
second, or like just to say it's the game you played, but a little better.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, that's cool. They should have Luigi.
Yeah, because he's not in it. Even I
Yeah.
think maybe there's a picture of him in a house.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't remember if there's even that. Just something to tie it all together. However, I want to say that I am excited that they're doing this, and I do think that they are setting up themselves to start making sequels in this genre. That's what I think they're really doing.
I hope so.
Yeah, and I hope that it actually makes room. I hope enough people get it for them to realize that people like a lot of these IP. Mm-hmm. There's almost no mainline Mario game that people don't. There's not a huge amount of people that love.
Yeah.
Talking about Mario 2. Super Mario 2 needs a fucking remake. It's going to be called Super Mario 2 Return to the Subcon. Kinsey Burke, what else were you excited about?
I'm cautiously optimistic for Super Mario Wonder. I think it looks super fun, and I love Elephant Mario.
Yeah.
He's so cute.
Yep.
I'm not completely sold on the visual style yet because it doesn't say Nintendo to me. It
Yeah.
says Flash game.
Yeah.
But I think all of the like kind of almost acid trippy power ups that they have, like with the like pipes moving like inchworms and shit, like I'm here for all of that.
Sure.
That looks so cool and like so much fun. And I'm also excited that they're bringing back Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon because I don't think as many people played that as should have because it was on the 3DS.
Sure.
So that was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think overall there was a lot that I really liked. There was a couple like super rando standouts for me.
Right.
Like Myth Force. Like I watched that trailer twice because I was like, what is happening here? But it's like
right. That's the first
roguelike.
person roguelike, right?
Yeah, it's like a roguelike, but it's all set like a Saturday morning cartoon kind of He-Man kind of style
neat.
animation.
That was really neat.
And it looked really neat. I'd like to hear more about it, but it does look cool. And then Headbangers looks
Right.
cool. And that's like the pigeon rhythm
Yeah.
multi-majig thing. WarioWare, of course, because I love it. But yeah,
Right. Okay.
there's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, that's great.
And speaking of showcases.
Oh, you love showcases.
Annapurna also had their showcase this week as well. They showed us all kinds of rad games that they have coming up, including Cocoon, made by the lead designer from Limbo and Inside, a brand new Blade Runner game,
Yeah.
led up by the What Remains of Edith Finch's Chelsea Hash,
Right.
and To a T, a brand new game from Katamari creator Keita Takahashi, and more. 'Cause
Yeah,
there was
and
also
more.
a lot there too.
Yeah. Oh, one of our friends here in Kyoto, Madamitsu. They had a game, not a game announced, but they announced
partnership announcement.
Which is such an interesting thing to announce. Like they did a pretty nice video about it.
Yeah.
But overall, this is a very artsy direct or whatever it was. Good on Annapurna for not for doing it. I don't know. It doesn't seem like something they would do in general because they're more in the world anyway. Yeah.
I feel like whenever I see an Annapurna showcase, I'm always like, I think they're just the publishing company that's like, would Kinsey like this? Yes.
Right.
I feel that way every time I see any of their showcases. Like I like pretty much almost 100% of what they show.
Right.
Super excited for To a T because I absolutely love Keita Takahashi's work, and like I loved Wadum,
Right.
Nobi Boy, Katamari, obviously all the things. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, and for me, the Blade Runner looks really neat. But obviously, you couldn't tell what the game was. But
No,
I
it was
think
like a sneak preview.
From a sales pitch perspective, I'm excited.
Yeah.
And I like that they went with it's called Blade Runner 2033, and I like that they know that they're trying. That must mean that they're trying to sync up the original Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049 in some creative way. So I love that series, and I love the book. So that's probably for me.
Awesome, yeah. Yeah, they had a lot of good stuff to show. So, yeah. If you haven't checked it out, check out their showcase. And now it's time for Call Me Up, where we answer your questions
Ring,
from
ring.
Discord. If you ever want to ask us a question,
What do you do?
go on over to the Chew High Labs Discord, scroll down to Call Me Up, and ask your question there.
So hold on. I go to or discord.gg/ChewHighLabs.
Correct.
Then I click on that,
You got it.
and then I load it.
Correct.
And it's going to say, hey, do you want to join the Discord? And then I say,
You say yes.
okay, cool. And then at that point, I introduce myself and I say, hi, I'm Ralph Stevenson, and I like games. and then you, Kinsey Burke, will say, "No, dude, scroll down and ask your question."
Scroll down
under the Call Me Up section on our Discord. Kinsey Burke, what's the first? Sorry about that. What's the first question we have?
Our first question is from our mod Steven. And so Steven recently just moved to Japan.
Boring.
And it's currently very hot right now. So his question is, it's hot. What's your favorite food and drink item to cool you down?
Oh, man. I lived in Korea for 7 years before I lived here, and they have a dish over there called naengmyeon, and naengmyeon is buckwheat noodles, ice made from beef broth, and sometimes there's bibim, spicy bibim, and sometimes there's a piece of beef on top. It's basically the greatest food in the entire planet, and it's iced, and it's like the bowl is made of steel. Here in Japan, they call it ramen. It's never as good here in Japan. Never, never as good. Even at good Korean restaurants, it's like hasn't never hit me the same way. However, naengmyeon is the ultimate fucking food. What is yours, Kinsey Burke?
I was trying to think of foods, and I couldn't really think of foods to cool down personally.
Right.
Like, I don't know. Normally when it's really hot out, I don't eat very much because it's hot. But for drinks, though, I like a good slushie. Anything.
Where do you get
slush.
that in this vicinity?
You can get like a frap from like any of the like Family Mart has fraps.
I've never seen you get one to cool down.
If you go to the right 7-Elevens, because every 7-Eleven I've tried to go to doesn't have it, but they have the smoothies. And then, of course, there's like Starbucks and other places where you can get like Frappuccino type fruity stuff. But at the Konbini, they have the lychee, like salty sports drink.
Right.
Man, that thing's good. I love it. I love it.
It's pretty good.
And it
It's
says
Gatorade,
on it,
but it's lychee.
yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's pretty good, and it's got a little salt in it.
Yeah, and it says like to cool down.
to cool down, drink
To
salt.
cool down, drink salt.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. That's well, that's great advice you just gave about what's your favorite drinks here in Japan.
Or a margarita.
Oh, dude, margaritas are good almost all year round.
I mean, that's fair, but specifically frozen ones, I feel like are real good.
Oh,
Real
I
good
want
when
one
it's
right
hot
now.
out,
I
right?
want to go have one right now. A daiquiri. That's what I want. Actually, I want a strawberry daiquiri. I want to kick back, put my legs up,
A little
and,
umbrella in it?
Oh, you better fucking believe it.
Yeah, maybe you're in a hammock.
I'm in a fucking hammock.
Yeah.
Not maybe. I'm in a hammock, and like I'm being served. You know what I mean?
There's some palm leaf fanners.
Yeah, what year is it? I want to go to that year. Hell yeah. Well, great story, Kinsey Burke. That was our only question. If you want to do questions, you can too.
Nasty Labs.
And that's all the time we have. Thank you so much for listening. You are legally the best. And as always, Carve Snowboarding is out right now on the Oculus Quest.
Go there.
Halloween Forever is out right now on the Nintendo Switch eShop.
Buy that game.
You can buy Curse to Golf right now on pretty much every
You
platform.
no, wait.
out
You
there.
should buy it on every platform.
Yeah, just
Or
buy
like-
one of each.
Can you buy it for your friends? Can you buy it for your friends of friends? Buy it for your enemy.
And as of the recording of this, you can still pre-order the physical edition of Curse to Golf from Limited Run Games.
That's right. And it won't be just as of the recording of this. It'll be as of the release of this episode.
Yeah.
So you can also get our merch on theyeti.com/ChewHighLabs. You can get great mugs featuring our faces on it. You can get merchandise for Chew High Labs. You can get the soundtrack to one of our games, Whitewater Wipeout. I mean, you can get a lot of cool shit.
It's on cassette.
And where can we find social medias?
You can find me on the internet at Kinzilla, Kinszilla.
Yeah, on all of the things,
On all of
right?
all
yeah.
the
Hell
things.
yeah, especially Twitter. That's where you can send her DMs, and don't send her. Send me DMs.
Yeah,
Send me
yeah.
a weird ass DM.
Slide into his
Yeah,
DMs.
slide in. I'm ready, dude. Twitter.com/TheHenryDemos. And you can find Chew High Labs on all of the things. Twitter.com/Chew High Labs. You should follow us. You should tell your mom to follow us. You should not slide into our DMs.
And as always, a huge thank you to the Tokyo Beat Network. Thank you all of listening. all of listening.
Thank you all of listening.
Thank you all of listening. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.